I know a lot of what I want, and I really know what I want. And a lot of people would say it's a big fantasy, unlogical, unrealistic, but
But then they don't know what you know, do they?
Right, exactly. Listening to you,
they think you're a freak.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, in the loving way we mean it.
Yeah. Well, listening to you puts hope in those dreams, which I would have killed and, threw away. But I obsessively think about them all day, every day. And I wake up thinking about them, go to sleep thinking about them, and then...
Well, here's the thing. If you are obsessively thinking about something and you're not seeing profound evidence of the unfolding, then you might be obsessively worrying or aware of the absence of them more than you are anticipating the presence of them. You might be overthinking it all. So that's the reason that we've begun speaking of the grid and talking about thinking in more general terms. Because when you speak in general terms, you are less likely to push away. You're following a little bit?
Yes.
When you think about what you want and why you want it, it's more general. When you think about the details, here's the best new verbiage that we have offered lately that speaks exactly to what we want you to hear. Don't try to fill in your own grid. Now, a lot of your dreams, goals, are that. And it's all right. In other words, when you set a goal and it makes your heart sing, you're not too specific. You're just right specific. But after you have established a goal or a dream, and you're aware that it hasn't come yet, and your awareness of its absence is sort of weighing heavy on you, and then you think, well, I should think about it more to make it come more. That's when it starts getting off. And that's when being more general about it will help you out. Okay. So give us something specific and let's walk through it. Let's let today be an exercise of actually discovering personally what shifting a vibration from too specific and therefore slightly resistant to less specific and therefore slightly less resistant to really general and therefore not resistant at all. Let's do that a few times today until you really understand the power of that. Because if you believe us, and you do, when we say that step 1 is ask and you've done that, and step 2 is source has already answered and become it, and that is true, and that the only thing that you have to do is stop doing whatever you're doing that's holding it away, then going general will help you to stop doing that thing that you've been doing that's been holding it away. Okay. When you use a word like obsessed, we know you're too specific, you see.
Too specific in what I want?
Too specific. Let us start again. You can never be too specific if, when you are being specific, your heart is singing. But if, while you are being specific, your heart is aching or you're feeling discouraged, then you're too specific. And there's one more thing. If you've wanted it for a long time and it hasn't come yet, there's something screwy in your vibration. Something easy to sort out. But it takes a little vibrational sorting.
Okay. I also...
Do you follow all of that?
Yes. I also worry a lot, and the annoying thing about that is...
Aha! Well, we just want to say to you that worry is the emotional indicator of what we were just saying. Worry is the feeling you have when you're too specific about something you want, but you're... In other words, feel the difference. Let's just play with this a little bit. When you think about something that you want, and it's early thoughts about it, so that it seems like a really good idea, we call it fresh, new desire. Vibrationally speaking, it's moving into place relatively quickly. But when you get to the point where you're worrying about it, now it's moving into place because you've developed some vibrational patterns that are holding it apart. And the very feeling of worry is the indicator that you're calling it and pushing it and calling it and pushing it and calling it and pushing it. Because if you were calling it and letting it in, you'd feel excited. If you were calling it and letting it in, you'd feel really happy. If you were calling it and letting it in, you'd be getting really good ideas. You'd be having manifestations. You'd be saying, this is really working. But when you feel worry, it means you're calling it and pushing it and calling it and pushing it. And that's only about, I want this, where is it? I want this, it's too slow. I want this, I've wanted it for a long time. I want it, I don't know where to find it. Nothing is worse feeling than to want something that you don't believe that you can have. And you said, Abraham, you've helped me because you breathed some hope back into my dreams. And we know that is certainly true. You have come a long way in releasing of resistance. But why not go all the way? Why not release resistance and let it in, you say? Here's something really tricky. And you'll hear this clearly. Why do you think that you want? Let's be more fair. Why do you want your dreams to come true? Your specific dream to come true. Why do you want that?
Because after listening to you, I hear it's possible. And
well, we know you don't want to just do it because it can be done. You want to do it because
it will make me feel good.
Yeah, because you believe you will feel good.
In the having of it.
But the thing that's backwards about that is if you need it before you can feel good, then it slows everything way, 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 way down, even permanently. If you need this thing so that you can feel good, then the absence of feeling good holds it away. Isn't that interesting? The fact that I don't feel good, I will feel good when it gets here, but until it gets here, I don't feel so good, so it can't come because I don't feel so good. You've got to find the vibration of what it feels like when it does come first.
Specifically what it feels like, even if it's $1 billion, like find that vibration.
Well, here's the thing. If you want $1 billion,
right,
and you try to be specific about what you're going to do with the $1 billion, it's going to take way more time than we've got here today. But if you get general about it, we can get there really fast. Why would anyone want a massive amount of money?
Because they came from nothing? Oh, well, that, and they think they feel
better
in the
Now that's all right. That's all right. What you said was exactly right. I want it because I've never had it. I want it because I can't even imagine what it would feel like. I want it because it's miserable without it. All those activations, it's like when you pick up the stick that has prosperity on one end, the absence of prosperity is on the other end. And worry is the indication that you're vibrating on the other end of the stick. Now, those of you who are listening in, lots of you around the planet today listening, we know you have heard this and heard this and heard this and heard this and heard this from us. You're not the first one to talk about this. Almost everyone who's in a position where they want something that is not yet manifested or actualized is in this position. Because if they weren't in this position, it would have manifested and actualized. Anyone who wants anything that hasn't happened yet is sitting in exactly the same vibrational place that you are. And in very simple terms, what that means is your vibration is more active on the absence of it than it is on the presence of it. And that's just because you've been observing. But you can fill in that void or that gap with some general statements that feel good to you. But you got to stay general, especially in the beginning.